I thought it was a good opening weekend for us, especially when you look at the 6 games we got ahead of us, 7 games ahead of us on this road trip, just to get going and get our blood pumping and get the kids a feel for the college game. It was a good weekend for us. The crowd was amazing on Friday night in a really kind of cold, wet, damp weather, and we still had a huge crowd and then enthusiastic, good crowds throughout the weekend. So that was fun environment. As far as our team, thrilled with really the aspects that we could see of it. I was really thrilled. I thought the pitching was really good. The catching was good. I thought the hitting was good, and then I would have liked to have seen us had more opportunities on defense to look at different things, but that'll come soon enough on this road trip. So overall, really good weekend. We did have one injury in the first game of the year. We've lost Maya Davis to a hand injury for a few weeks, and hopefully she'll still be able to come in and pinch a run for us, but she may be limited, and hopefully it won't be a long-term recovery thing. It was a hand injury that they seem to have hope that we could get her back in a month. So that's tough for a young lady to work that hard from August till now, and been committed to the Cajuns since 8th grade. So I hate it. We lose her the very first game of the year, and I hate it for our fans because she's such an exciting player to watch. But that was the other than that, we come out of the weekend healthy, and the pitching staff in really good shape to go forward. And I thought that it was a good opening weekend.
You were saying something about not having the opportunities on defense. I mean, it sounds silly, but is to get to the point that you ask the pitchers, don't strike everybody out?
Well, you'd have to ask Justin, and he'd say, no, we're going to strike him out. So he's yelling umpire. So he's a pretty cold-blooded competitor. So I wouldn't want to – we'll just take what we get. I'm proud of our pitching staff. They've worked hard, and I thought they were very dominant. And like I said, the defensive part will come into play this week, and we'll get a lot of opportunity to evaluate our defense.
Coach, I know you talked about playing multiple different lineups and moving pieces in and out. Was there a reason that Stormy only made one trip to the plate this season?
We just looking at what we did in the preseason and who had the best preseason, and then also just getting our team going. And we've got a lot of competition at those positions, and we'll use her where we need to. We know what she can do. We got a lot of freshmen that we need to see what they can do, and then we'll go from there.
So now with the injury, you kind of know who's going to be the center fielder. So what does that mean for third base?
We'll just keep plugging away at it. I've actually got total faith that Caleb Falterman can be outstanding in center field, and so can Kramer Ushte. And I think you'll see them. I think you'll see at least one of those in center field this week in Florida. So, because I do think Maddie will play some at third. What we do throughout will depend on how the weekend flows. Sophie has not practiced over there a lot, and it's going to take her a little while to get into a really good rhythm at third base and get to where, she's comfortable over there. So, we're going to give her as much experience as we can when Vic's behind the plate at third, and if these are must-win games, we're going to play it like it's a regional, super regional type win-loss situation for us. We're going to be trying to win. So, we'll just kind of let the game dictate. But I would like to. It would be a great thing if we could just flip third and catcher. That would be my first choice. But then we got the luxury of Hayden going in there if we need to, and then of course we know also that Kotzelnick can play anywhere on the infield if we need her to.
Is there any issue of pitchers spending time with the same catcher, or are you okay with, from the defensive standpoint, the catcher position with the flipping process?
Yeah, they both in a January and February inter squad. We've kind of mixed a match where they're both comfortable with. Both catchers are comfortable with all the pitchers, and the pitchers are comfortable, I think, with both catchers. They're a little different, Sophie's an extremely emotional, fiery up type catcher. Vic a little more cool, but also fiery, and they both got strengths as catchers. So, I don't think any of the pitchers care of either one on the back there. They're very comfortable with both catchers.
Offensively, how impressed were you with Victoria about this weekend?
She just impresses me in every area. She's a ball player, a good hitter, a good defender, a great defender. And she's surprised me with her offense, although I knew she could hit coming out of the travel ball and high school ranks. And then where she's really surprised me, though, is like how high of softball IQ she has on her feel for the game, knowing where the runners are, no matter where she's playing. And then the way she runs the bases, like she runs the bases and just tremendous intensity. It kind of reminds you of like Albert Pujols, where you don't see blazing speed, but she just slides. Her slides are really effective, and then she just loves to be dirty. She's a ball player, really fun.
Is she a part of kind of that brand that you talked about in the preseason of just having people that will fight and grit and be warriors?
Absolutely, and Sissy Vasquez. Those two kids have won multiple national championships coming up through the travel ball ranks, and they believe they can beat anybody. They played with kids that are on the rosters at UCLA and Oklahoma, and they've been on high level travel ball teams and been coached with a lot of intensity, and they know how to play under pressure. They're not freshmen mentally. They're softball players, and they're ready to play again in Florida against the elite level of the game. Those two kids, because of their background, and Maya Davis is too.
How important was it, with you were talking about Cicely and Victoria, kind of having the game that they had yesterday to kind of build their confidence going into Florida?
Yeah, Vasquez had hit the ball really hard, but right at people, especially the first 2 days. First two games, she really hit some shots that were caught. So I was really thrilled to see her get that, get the big double and then hit the grand slam and really get comfortable and get that average up to a comfortable level where she's not pressing at all going into Florida. But that's huge. Anytime you get them going, get them feeling like they belong. Knowing that they belong. So that's really was important for us, I thought.
Now that you've got some games under your belt against somebody in a different uniform, what kind of the mindset of your team heading into Florida?
I think they're really good. I think that this team is very deep and very talented, and there's just learning to play together and learning to play every day with that pressure of, first they start thinking they got to have a great day every day or somebody's going to replace them because there's so much talent on the bench. And then they finally get to a point where they just understand, just do the best you can do and go out and compete. And you don't have to do it by yourself, which is a great feeling. So there's a lot of adjustment to going from, high school and travel ball to a really talented 22-man roster. And I think those are the things that we'll get even better as we get used to each other over the next 3 weeks.
Is there anything during the weekend with the pitching that impressed you the most?
I thought they were all good. I knew Tyler Oob was really good in practice. I wanted to see Tyler Oob in a game, and she delivered. That's what we've been seeing, a really special young prospect in our inner squad. So it didn't really surprise me, but it's a relief to know, I'm not imagining that. That kid's really good. And then, we know what Landry and Shorman are. They're outstanding. And then Lamb and Heath as well. We had 4 pitchers throwing 68, 69 mile an hour. I think they bumped 70 a few times this weekend. And when you get 4 arms throwing like that, that's pretty unusual in college softball. And then Heath Oob just come in and dominated with her spins and breaking pitches. So really, really good. And even Oob was in the mid-60s. So really, the whole pitching staff I thought, showed a lot of potential for the season.
Coach, did you get any clarity this weekend with with all the strikeouts like we talked about at first base and right field?
Just that we got options, I was able to get a lot of different outfielders playing time, and Kramer Eshte's a really good defensive outfielder, and she can hit. I was glad we were able to get different starts. I thought she was really good in her start Sunday, and we've got a lot of options over there. We just got to figure out what we need that particular day. Do we need defense or do we value offense? Because, if you're going offense and Campbell's bat's so good, you got to have her out there. But then on the other hand, when you go to play in these top 10 type teams, defense becomes really important. And I've got a lot of confidence in that sophomore class of outfielders.
The first two opponents, what do you know about them in Clearwater?
We played Indiana last year, and it was a good game for us. I don't think we saw their best game. They were 3-1 this weekend, and if we play our best, we have to play our best game because we got to get off to a good start. That game's critical for us. I've told our team all along Thursday's the most important game of the week because it sets the tone for the whole week, and we want to let people know we belong there. And then behind that Indiana game got Michigan, and they were 3-1 this weekend. Both teams, Indiana was 3-1, Michigan was 3-1. They're going to be Michigan's a fiery ball club. It's got a lot of pride. They get some really top recruits. Indiana runs a lot. They stole 6 games the first 2 games of the year. I don't know how many they end up for the whole weekend, but I noticed after 2 games they already had 6 stolen bases. And the coach, she used to be at Marshall, Shonda Stanton. We used to play them a lot when I was at Georgia, and she puts a lot of pressure on the defense. So she'll test our defense with a running game and a short game right off the bat. And then Michigan, they've got a new first-year coach. So I don't really know. Bonnie's been there as an assistant for years and years, but I don't know whether she'll put her own mark on the program and play the same way that Hutch always did, or whether she'll try to mix things up and do things a little different. So we'll see, and I think we'll learn a lot about them this weekend in Clearwater.